Existing is a subscription. Oh, do you want to be alive for another month? Pay our monthly fees.
They got so greedy, you have to pay to be able to use that camera. Otherwise, they blur it out. You can't use it, okay?
If Disney bought Hulu, then why are they two separate apps? And why does Hulu have a section on it that says HBO on Hulu? And why is there Apple TV on Amazon? And you can accidentally pay for two subscriptions. I want cable so bad.
Everything is a subscription now in 2026. And it's a lot worse than you probably realize. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some of the biggest examples of how bad the subscription economy has really gotten in 2026. As always, if you like this kind of content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I post new videos like this every week. And with that out of the way, let's jump right into it.
If Disney bought Hulu, then why are they two separate apps? And why does Hulu have a section on it that says HBO on Hulu? And why is there Apple TV on Amazon? And you can accidentally pay for two subscriptions. I want cable so bad. I want cable so bad. Like, I don't even know what is going on anymore.
So one of the first things that probably comes to your mind when you think of a subscription is a streaming service, right? Like Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, Peacock, yada yada. Before the plethora of streaming services that are available now even existed, Netflix was the OG. I remember when Netflix was a new kid on the block. I grew up with Blockbuster, picking out a movie, watching that movie, and then returning it to Blockbuster, right? DVDs, VHS. And Netflix, when they started, they weren't even a streaming service. They were actually a mail-in service. So they had DVDs similar to Blockbuster that you could rent, but instead of having a physical brick and mortar location, they would mail it to you and you'd mail it back. Super simple. I think it was like 3 or so at a time you were able to rent. Then 2007 came around and Netflix introduced streaming. And it was a lot more limited than it is today, but it was a lot cheaper as well. And it was one streaming service. There was no Hulu, there was no HBO Max. HBO was an add-on cable package. If you had cable, right, that was a package. That wasn't even a streaming service back then. But in 2007, Netflix started streaming, and that completely changed the landscape as we know it today. It was targeted as a cheaper alternative and a more convenient alternative than going to your local Blockbuster or having to deal with the hassle of renting physical media and then returning that physical media. And I'm sure you understand the convenience of having something on demand, ready to go, without having to pop in a physical device. This obviously became very popular, so popular and common that it completely wiped out services like Blockbuster and other movie rental places, in addition to completely disrupting the amount of people that subscribe to cable television. Around 2007 and into the early 2010, 2015s, everybody had cable. But because streaming became so popular, so widely available, and so much cheaper and convenient, people canceled their cable services. So all of those channels, all of those programs that you used to get under one bundle, the cable bundle, then split off into different streaming services that we have today. And that has become, ironically, more expensive than cable ever was. Which is why you see this girl crying about wanting cable again, because she had a plethora of stuff to watch on cable and it was under one low cost. Now there's an endless library of media to consume across all of these streaming platforms, except you have to pay for them. And these subscription services only get more expensive the longer that you use them. It doesn't get cheaper as you go, it's only getting more expensive. This is already frustrating enough, but to even further frustrate and confuse the people that consume this content, a lot of these companies are now starting to go through mergers. Now you see Disney Plus and Hulu are literally the same service on different apps, and it doesn't make any sense. It's the same content available on each app, and you're somehow still paying per subscription service. Doesn't make any sense. You'll see Apple TV shows on Amazon Prime despite them being completely different services. And a lot of people, myself included, are fed up. I don't pay for a lot of these streaming services anymore. I really only pay for like Hulu and HBO Max because I feel like those have the best library of content. But even now, I'm starting to get fatigued by the constant price increases. Feels like every month now I'm getting an email saying your subscription for Hulu is increasing $2 or $3. HBO Max subscription is increasing $5. And it just feels like it never ends. When Netflix started, it was like an $8 service, no ads, and it worked beautifully. Now, if you want the same ad-free experience with Netflix, that's going to cost you $20 a month. When you take a look at the first comment, and why are ads on the subscription services? It's not enough that these companies are charging you exorbitant amounts of money every month for the service itself, but then they also have to gain money from advertisers because your money's not enough, because no money's enough for them. They need more and more of it. And that's why you see so many ads on your entertainment. It is literally greed. And this is why piracy is seeing a huge resurgence online. This person, I went back to Sailing the Seven Seas at this point, TBH. So many people are fed up with having to pay the nonstop increases that they're just deciding to steal this stuff online. And look, I'm not advocating advocating for piracy. I'm simply saying I understand where these people are coming from. They're fed up with the price increases, and honestly, I am too. This comment, yeah, I went back to DVDs. This is another topic online that's gotten a lot of traction recently, especially with Sony PlayStation announcing that they're no longer going to be releasing physical games for the PS5. A lot of people are starting to push back on the idea of all digital everything because they see the disadvantages now to having to pay a subscription service for all your media. And physical media is becoming a lot more popular, and I'm here for it. And if you're a fan of professional sports like the NFL, this problem is even worse.
If you want to watch every single NFL game next season legally, you will need
10 different streaming services.
They're saying that you should expect to pay about
$1,000 in total for the entire season.
$1,000? What are we talking about? Who's okay with that? This is egregious. 10 different streaming services to watch one sport. One sport. We're living in hell.
to watch every game legally. This is exactly why you should support your local Stream East.
Your local Mets streams, your local Buff streams.
These NBA, NFLs, MLBs have gotten far too greedy. They think we're all just going to roll over and buy the next subscription.
Fuck you.
I'm not doing it. And the person that created this subscription-based streaming service thing.
I hate you.
15 years ago, I thought Netflix was going to change the world for the better.
Now you need 9,000 different streaming services.
To just watch the games of a sport you love.
What happened to how it used to be? Can we go back to that, please?
Nope.
We won't. They won't. Not enough money.
Nah, we will never get back to that because greed. They've seen how much money that they can make. They've seen how much people are willing to pay.
So I pay over $2,000 in subscriptions every year. Let's go through them. Some of these are for business and productivity and others are just for fun, but let me know what subscriptions you pay for that you refuse to cancel. Let's start off with the business and productivity ones first, starting off with ChatGPT Premium, which I pay $20 a month for, which comes out to $240 a year. Then we have CapCut Pro for my video editing, which comes out to $10 a month and $120 for the year. Very well worth it in my opinion. Then we have all my Apple subscriptions, and it's actually crazy to me how much money they take from me every single month. Starting off with my Apple Care One plan, which is $20 a month, which comes out to $240 a year, but I like to have all my devices protected. Next up, we have my Apple Music plan, which is $17 a month, which comes out to $204 for the year. I know Spotify is better, but I'm already too locked into the Apple ecosystem. Next up, we have my iCloud storage for 2 terabytes. I pay $10 a month, which comes out to $120 for the year.
Just a month on Apple, this guy is spending over $45. Just one company, almost $45 a month. It's insane.
Now we're going to move on to my most expensive subscriptions, which are my annual fees for my MX card. Starting off with the MX Platinum, they charge me $895 a year. And then for my MX Gold, they charge me $325 a year.
Over $1,000 a year. Brother, cut those cards up, throw them in the trash. The benefits can't be that good. And look, I have an Amex card for my business. It doesn't have a membership fee. There's no like yearly annual fee that I have to pay on that card. And I think it's ridiculous to have to pay an annual fee.
Lastly, we have my entertainment subscriptions, which I honestly don't use too often, but it's just nice to have when I do want to use them. Starting off with Netflix, I pay $18 a month, which comes out to $216 for the year. And then I also have HBO, which is $18.50 a month, which comes out to $222 for the year. So altogether this year, I'm going to pay $2,582 in subscriptions. Is that crazy or is that normal?
It is both crazy and it has become normal in 2026. And I'll tell you right now, I remember when you used to be able to buy software outright. Companies are completely ditching the software outright model for a subscription model. Microsoft Word, Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere, these are all services that at one point in time you could literally buy outright and then you own them forever. And Adobe was one of the first to adopt this business model. Their editing software with the Creative Cloud. You used to be able to buy all of those individual services, one-time purchase, and then you own them. Now they are a subscription service, and that subscription is expensive. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Think about any of the other software services that you use, and there is a subscription model for them. Google, Dropbox, Canva, all subscription services. And sure, these programs do have free versions of them, but they're usually significantly shittier and limited. They force you, through the lack of features, to pay for the subscription model. And that's just how it works.
Since when did we live in a world where we have to have a subscription for everything? What do you mean this computer doesn't already have Microsoft and stuff on it? I was using Word just fine. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, sorry, you don't have a subscription. Subscription? Shouldn't your ass already be on the computer? I bought a computer to write stuff on. Okay. Gets the subscription, goes to print something. Oh, sorry, you don't have an HP Instant Ink subscription. You can't print. What do you mean? It's fully loaded with ink. We got 2 of them.
This is also why I switched from Microsoft Office to the Google Suite years ago. Google literally has an alternative for all those Microsoft Office products. Docs, Sheets, Slides, all of it. And it's free. For now, at least.
Like, tell me why I'm just trying to write a simple document and print it out and it just cost me $25.99. My stuff that I already paid for.
Probably could have gone to the local library, even if it was like $1 a sheet. If she printed out 24 sheets, just spent less money at the library. And that's as if it's $1 per sheet. Usually it's around 50 to 70 cents per sheet.
I haven't even left my house. Costing me money.
And we take a look at the first comment. When my email started asking me to pay for more space, excuse me? Yo, I keep getting Microsoft emails, Google emails, asking me to purchase more storage because my storage is up. I thought this stuff was unlimited. I was under the impression that I could receive an unlimited amount of emails and it was fine. I'm not giving you more money for this service that should be free. No, I will close out this email account before I give you money to pay for a subscription service for my email. Are you crazy? But this is what happens when greed becomes unchecked and these companies can just get away with whatever because they know you rely on these services so much, they can charge you up the wazoo and you're going to probably pay for it because you have no other option.
All right, and I pulled over just to show you a video as to why you shouldn't get this car, okay? This is a 2026 Mercedes CLA. It's the electric one, the new one that just came out. First of all, let me just start with saying this. You cannot even charge at an 800-volt station. They give you free charging, and they don't even exist in the state of California. And you cannot use a Tesla charging station, okay? The facial recognition never works. So you have facial recognition. They don't want you to touch anything, but it doesn't work, okay? The biggest thing of them all is they want you to have a subscription for everything. Let me show you the cameras. In my other model, you used to be able to see your front and back. You could change to the front and back as well. It was included on it. They got so greedy and decided to take it out that you have to pay to be able to use that camera. Otherwise, they blur it out. You can't use it, okay? So there's that.
Cameras, mind you, that are already installed on the car that you already paid for. They're asking for additional money per month to use a feature that is already on the car. Brother, what? I would have returned that car the second I found that out.
If you want to use any of the navigational assistance, any car assistance, anything, you got to pay. It's $70 per month, subscription model. Here's another one. If you want to watch a movie or watch a show, Netflix, whatever, while you're charging, because you are going to sit there and charge for a minute, this does not let you use it. In order to even use the digital extras that are there, in order to even use the browser that's there, in order to even use the game and camera and all that stuff, you have to pay a subscription, $12 a month, just to be able to get on your Netflix that you're already paying for. Like, can you cut me a break? Not to mention, all this stuff is plastic and cheap. Where did the quality go?
So he mentioned 3 separate subscriptions that you need to pay for this vehicle. The navigation, CarPlay, $70 a month, stingy. The fact that you can't watch the movies that you already pay for with another subscription service without paying them additional money to be able to enable that feature that already exists on the vehicle, stingy. He can't use his cameras that already exist on the vehicle that he purchased. Literally the first comment, a subscription for a rear view camera is nothing but greed. Shake my head. These are features that should have already been included for free on the vehicle, and the fact that you have to pay for 3 separate subscriptions that probably total somewhere over $100 a month for a vehicle that you've already purchased is infuriating. Like I said, I personally would have returned this vehicle because this is insane. This comment, looks cheap inside, polyester and plastic. Yeah, because it is cheap inside. These companies are trying to cut back the cost of creating these vehicles and then charge the most amount of money that they can. It's just not worth it at this point. I mean, you think you're paying for luxury, you're paying for slop that was slapped together. It's crazy.
BMW charging you to access heated seats is actually a much bigger deal than we're talking about. Your next car might come with features you've already paid for, but have to rent back from the manufacturer. Ownership used to be simple. You bought a car and whatever was physically inside of it was yours. But now software has completely changed that equation. BMW made headlines a while back for putting their heated seats underneath a subscription where they charged you $18 a month just to use them. Those heated coils are already in the car that you bought. You just can't access them until you pay for permission. BMW eventually walked this back after the backlash that ensued, but the fact that they tried to sell you this tells you everything about where this is all headed. Other car manufacturers like Mercedes and Tesla have experimented with paid performance upgrades in forms of subscriptions. Investors and Wall Street love a recurring subscription cost because it's a more predictable form of income than just a single sale. So this is happening because car manufacturers are looking at companies like Adobe, who did this really well. Once Adobe moved to their Creative Cloud subscription process, their stock significantly went up. Customers initially were furious, and then they adjusted. We've accepted this logic in other places. You don't own the music on Spotify, you pay a subscription fee to access that library. But there was never any promise of ownership. With a car, you have a physical title, this piece of paper that says that you own this vehicle. So can you own a car while renting its capabilities? It used to be that a manufacturer would have no connection with the consumer after the point of sale. But now they can reach back into these products once they've sold them to you. They can turn things on, turn things off, push updates, collect data. If companies keep charging us for what we've already bought, where do we draw the line?
And the craziest part about this, BMW and Mercedes are supposed to be luxury vehicles. So you're already paying a premium for a product that's supposed to be more premium than, say, your Toyota or your Honda. So why am I paying even more money for features that should already be included in a premium model car? At the end of the day, they're just trying to squeeze every drop of value that they can out of each consumer that purchases their products. I have been a victim of this. The car that I purchased, 2013, by the way, two-door coupe. Bought it back in 2018. It has a remote start feature enabled in the car. However, it is a subscription service through Blue Link that I had to subscribe to in order for me to start my car remotely through an app. And the kicker is that service no longer works because the satellite that they used for it is out of commission. This is what the customer rep told me. So because they paywalled the remote start in my vehicle and they're no longer supporting that service, I don't have remote start in my car anymore, even though the car is capable of doing it from the manufacturer. I had to go out and spend another $300 to get a remote start kit installed in my car to work with the remote button of my car. It's egregious, and this was happening on 2013 models. Companies are trying to see how much they can get away with before they receive too much backlash, which is exactly why BMW walked back the heated seat feature under subscription, because they knew from the backlash that they couldn't get away with it. It's like ownership isn't even ownership anymore. You own the car, but only certain parts of the car, because the company reserves the right to still charge you monthly for other parts of the car.
I feel like they've successfully subscriptionified our entire lives. Like, really, when you think about it, pretty much everything now is a subscription.
Yep.
Literally, just existing is a subscription. Oh, do you want to be alive for another month? Pay our monthly fees. All of your basic necessities in life have become a subscription. Even like your rent. It's a monthly fee that you pay that you have to renew at the end of the year. And then they're just going to increase the price with absolutely no improvements to the product. And you have no choice because you don't want to move, or it's too expensive to. Even your subscriptions have become a subscription. They're just like, oh, are you having a hard time paying your monthly subscriptions? Well, here's an app to finance your monthly subscriptions through a monthly subscription. There's no escaping it. And by the way, they're not done. They're just getting started.
Rent and mortgages are some of the biggest subscriptions. Property tax, another big subscription. You literally owe money on property that you own every year. That's a never-ending subscription because taxes are never ending. Death and taxes, only thing guaranteed in life. And rent's one of the biggest examples. Every time you renew your lease, that is a renewal of the subscription to your housing that you have just renewed.
I want to talk about the subscription economy because I think the conversation has really shifted in a way that a lot of people have not realized. There used to be this version of the conversation about subscriptions where it was all about choice, right? Like, we have too many streaming services. Which one should I pick? I have subscription fatigue. And like, yes, I think that obviously still exists, but I think it's gotten, more exacerbated. And now we are in an environment that is meaningfully different, where I would call it subscription captivity, where a lot of our essential services, not luxuries or nice to haves, like essential services, are locked behind these recurring payments that are becoming harder and harder to escape. And you can see examples of this in like tons of industries, whether it be from like dating to the way we communicate to entertainment, transportation, professional tools. A lot of those have gotten locked behind this wall of recurring payments that we feel like we can't escape. And I know this sounds a little dramatic, but if you really start to think through the amount of subscriptions you use, it would be probably not impossible, but unbelievably painful to untangle yourself from these subscriptions. It could be detrimental to your job. It could be detrimental to kind of your social life or things like that. And all of this really is by design. The playbook that a lot of companies use is to offer a product people need, make it subscription only, and then raise the price incrementally forever, betting that the hassle of switching or canceling will exceed the cost of staying. And this feeds into another trend that I talk a lot about, which is like the tierification of our economy, where kind of the base level of goods or services has gotten incrementally worse while these premium options have started to get pushed out. So people feel like, oh, I just need to pay more for this premium option because the base layer is just like so bad. And so, like I said before, a lot of our financial world is designed around the concept of friction. And so, making something so hard or so painful to cancel or switch often will just lead people to stick with paying with it because they don't want to deal with the alternative. And companies will bet millions or even billions of dollars on that. And the market is continuing to prove that that is true.
These companies understand that subscriptions have become essential to things like work and social interaction. And if we don't do something now to combat this issue is only going to get worse. And that's all I've got for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below how many of these subscriptions you've fallen victim to, and if you see yourself canceling any of these moving forward in 2026. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video with someone that you think might find it interesting, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.